guys. I hope my voice is clear for everyone. I will share my screen. Okay, so like last session we had done the discussion with how to install the Eclipse and what is the advantages of the IDEs. So last session we have done the discussion. So today we'll start the OOPS concept. OOPS concept. What does it mean by OOP? What does it mean by OOP meaning? OOP is the object oriented programming system. So I will write the definition here. Object oriented programming system. Okay, programming system. So inside the OOPS will start from the scratch. Basically programming language are divided into two types. Programming language is divided into two types. So the two types are first one is the I would say first one is the procedure oriented language. Procedure oriented language, and we can say this one is the pop language, and second one is object oriented language. What I am saying, programming language is divided into two types. One is the procedure oriented language, you can say pop language, and what are the examples for the pop language? Examples for the pop language is the C plus and Cobalt, and I would say Cobalt. I would say next Pascal. Old languages comes under the legacy languages. Legacy programming languages comes under the procedure oriented programming language. These are old languages. And legacy languages. Legacy languages meaning old languages. And second one is object oriented language. Object oriented language. Is there any examples for this is called OOP language. OOP, we can say OOP language. Is there any examples for the OOP language? Yes, we have the examples. Examples are, first one is the Java, and we can say C# and Python. These are the examples. These are the examples for the object oriented. These are the examples for the object. These are the examples languages. So programming language is divided into two types. One is the procedure oriented language, we can say pop language, and second one is the object oriented language, we can say OOP language. So we'll try to understand what does it mean by pop language and why the people using the object oriented language. We'll try to understand one by one itself. So first thing is in pop language. So we'll try to understand pop language meaning procedure oriented language. So in the procedure oriented language, like the development will be in the I would say functional and procedures only. So the development will be in functions and procedures only. Are you guys clear with this point? If we are discussing about the pop language, in the pop language, the projects will be developed in the functions and procedures only. The projects will be developed in the functions and procedures only. functions and procedures only. And next thing is in pop we have more functionalities. So we have to, for example, we have the more functions, we need to write the more functionalities. In pop we have to write more functions, we have to write more functions for high functionalities. You guys clear with this point? If you want more functionalities, we need to write the more functions. We need to write the more functions. Clear with this point? And if you have the more functions, so then what is the major problem? The major problem is managing. Maintenance and managing is maintenance and managing the functions is too risky. Maintenance and managing the functions is too risky. Functions is too risky. You guys clear with this point? Basically, in pop language, like you can develop the project based on the functions and procedures only. If the functionalities, we want more functionalities, we need to write the more functions. So if our project have the multiple functions, maintenance and managing functions is too risk, and I would say to handling the more functions is difficult. Okay, difficult. And in pop language, code can be globally exposed, meaning there is no security. We can say in pop there is no security. In pop language there is no security. You guys clear with these points? In pop language there is no security. So in pop language don't provide any security. If you write whatever the projects we done with pop language, that code globally can be exposed. That code globally can be exposed. So these are the drawbacks, meaning there is no security, and whatever the code you written for project, every code will be globally exposed, meaning there is no security. And maintenance and managing the functions is too risky. For example, if the project have the multiple functionalities, we need to write more functions. So these are the some disadvantages in the OOP language. So that's why OOP language comes into the picture. Come into the picture. Now we'll discuss about the OOP language. So in the OOP language, we have to write the programs with classes and objects. So in the OOP language, we have to write the programs with the classes and objects. In the OOP language, we have to write the programs with the classes and objects. And in the second point, so which language follows OOP's principles? I would say, which language follows OOP's principles? That language is called OOP OOP language. Are you guys clear with this point? So in the OOPs we have the 4 principles. So which language follows these principles? Then we can say OOP language. Then we can say OOP language. Then we can say OOP language. And in the OOP language, it will provide security. Everything we can write in the forms of OOP or in the forms of objects only. That's why in the OOP language it will provide security. In OOP language, it will provide security. It will provide security. You guys clear these points? In the OOP language, we have to write the programs with classes and objects. In which, which language follows the OOP's principle? That language is called OOP language. OOP language. In OOP language, it will provide the security. Meaning, we cannot like whatever the code we have written in the project. That I would say the code cannot be exposed globally. That code cannot be exposed globally. That code cannot be exposed globally. Are you guys clear with these points? Are you guys clear with these points? OOP language, we have to write the programs with the classes and object, and which language follows the OOP principles? That language is called OOP language. In OOP language, it will provide the high security. In OOP language, it will provide the high security. Okay. Next, what are the OOP's principles? What are the OOP's principles we have? What are the OOP's principles? So basically, OOP's principles are 4. First one is the encapsulation. These are the OOP's principles. Second one is the, you can say, abstraction. And third one, we can say polymorphism. And fourth one, we can say inheritance. So I will give like the brief, I would say, what does it mean by encapsulation, and I will give the some basics of about all the things. What does it mean by encapsulation? So basically, encapsulation is the combination of combining, which is it is the process of combining variables and methods as a single unit. We can say as a single unit is called encapsulation. Are you guys clear with these points? Is there any examples for the encapsulation? Yes, we have the examples. Whatever the programs we have written, every class we can say example for the class. All Java programs, Java class. Are you guys clear with this point? Encapsulation meaning, it is the process of combining variables and methods as a single unit. So normally, what does it mean by class? Class is defining with class meaning combination of variables and methods. So in the basically encapsulation meaning, it is the process of combining variables and methods as a single unit is called encapsulation. Is there any example for the encapsulation? Yes, we have the example. I would say best examples is all the Java programs. All the Java programs are the examples for the encapsulation. Okay. Next thing is abstraction. So abstraction, which is used to hiding the unnecessary data, and providing necessary information, and providing abstraction, which is used to hiding the unnecessary data and providing useful information and providing useful information, providing useful information. So we can achieve, I would say we can achieve abstraction, we can achieve abstraction using classes and abstract classes, using abstract classes and interfaces. And in case of encapsulation, we can achieve encapsulation, using the classes, okay. Next, I would say abstraction, which is used to hiding the unnecessary data and providing the useful information. We can achieve the abstraction, or we can achieve the abstraction using, you can achieve the abstraction using the abstract classes and interfaces, abstract classes and interfaces. Basically, abstraction meaning it won't provide any it will hide the unnecessary data and providing the useful information, normally, for example, if you go, like you are going to the ATM, you are like I would say trying to draw the amount. You don't want to bother about how the ATM is working internally process, meaning what the process is happening there. So it is hiding the unnecessary data, like the process, whatever the process is going on inside the ATM, that process is, it is hiding, and it is providing only the money, it is dispensing the money. So in the same way, like if you take there are lot of examples. If you take the car, so if you purchase the car, you don't bother about how the car is working internally process, our requirement is we need to drive the car from one place to another place. That is our requirement. We no need to bother about how the car is working internally. So in the same way, in case of our laptop also, only keyboard and display is we are using. We don't bother about how the internally process is working, meaning how the RAM is working, how the internal OS is working. These are all the requires. These all the things we don't require. So in the same way, abstraction also, which is used to hiding the unnecessary data and providing the useful information. So the examples are, you can say car and ATM and laptop. These all are comes under the examples for the laptop. So these all are examples for the abstraction. And next thing is polymorphism. So we'll polymorphism, okay. What does it mean by polymorphism? Polymorphism meaning one object can exist multiple behaviors based on the situations. So objects, I would say objects can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situations. Are you guys clear with my point? So objects can exhibit. So we'll try to understand what does it mean by objects. But right now we try to understand polymorphism, meaning objects can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situations. For example, like I will tell, if you take, like in my case, I am taking example. So like when I am at the institute, I am behaving like as a trainer. If when I am at family, I will behave like as a family member. In the same way, in the polymorphism also, so objects can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situations. So in the polymorphism, we will be having compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Then we will discuss at the time of polymorphism. Right now, we will try to understand polymorphism, meaning polymorphism can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situations. situations. Okay, next one is the inheritance. Next one is the inheritance. So what does it mean by inheritance? We'll try to understand one by one. So inheritance meaning it is the process of extending the properties extending the properties from one class to another class. Extending the properties from one class to another class. One class to another class. One class to another class. The main purpose of the inheritance is I would say definition of the inheritance is it is the process of extending the properties from one class to another class. One class to another class. Is there any advantage? This is a very big advantages in Java. That advantage is code reusability. With the help of inheritance, we can reuse our code. Code reusability. Code reusability. Code reusability. Are you guys clear? Are you guys clear with these points? So we have in OOPS we have the four principles. What are the four principles? One is the encapsulation. Second one is the abstraction. Third one is the polymorphism, and fourth one is the inheritance. Inheritance. What does it mean by encapsulation? It is the process of combining variables and methods as a single unit is called encapsulation, and you can achieve the encapsulation using the classes. And second one is abstraction, which is used to hiding the unnecessary data and providing the useful information. And we can achieve the abstraction using abstract classes and interfaces. Examples are the car, ATM, laptop. Okay, these all are examples comes under the abstraction. And next thing is polymorphism. Objects can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situations is called polymorphism. Okay, is called polymorphism. Next thing, inheritance. What does it mean by inheritance? It is the process of extending the properties from one class to another class. One class to another class is called inheritance. And under the inheritance, we will be having types of inheritance also, like single level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multi-level inheritance. So those will see in depth at the time of inheritance. So this is not right now. We are not discussing the principles. Right now, this is the trailer only. I am just introducing. These are the principles we have. So at the going forward, we will discuss in depth. Okay, this is the only trial part only. Okay, inheritance. The main purpose of the inheritance is the code reusability. The main purpose of inheritance is code reusability. Okay, are you guys clear with these points? Okay. After this, so today we'll start the session with. So in the OOPS, like we have the basics, and then we'll discuss about the principles. What are the basics? The first one we will discuss about the class and object, and then we will discuss about the types of variables, and then we will discuss going forward. We will discuss about the methods, and then some keywords will be there like final, super. So and then we'll start the principles. So this is the process. Okay, today we'll discuss about the class and object. Today we'll discuss about the what does it mean by class, and so what does it mean by object we'll discuss. So the first point, what is class? What is class? Blueprint of object. Okay, class, it is a, we can say, model or plan. Model, we can say template, or you can say model, we can say plan also. Class, it is the model or template or plan. And in the second point, it is a blueprint of object. It is a blueprint of object. It is a blueprint of object. Are you guys clear with these points? So first one, basically it is a model or template or plan. Okay, and second point is it is a blueprint of objects. It is a blueprint of objects. And third one, so class declares with class declaration with combination of variables and methods. Variables and methods. Are you guys clear with these points? So the first question, what is class? It is a model, template or plan. Template or plan. And it is the blueprint of objects. It is the blueprint of objects. Second one is class. It is class declaration with combination of variables and methods. Variables and methods. Variables and methods. And variables and methods. Next thing is class cannot exist physically. Class cannot exist physically. Are you guys clear with these points? So basically, whatever the like classes we are writing, that is only imagination. Imagination. So the class cannot exist physically. Basically, what does it mean by class? So it is the declaration with the combination of variables and methods. Variables and methods. Class cannot exist physically, and class is the keyword. Class is the keyword which is used to create the class. Class is the keyword which is used to create the class. Which is used to create the class. Which is used to create the class. Is there any syntax for the class? Yes, we have the syntax. So syntax for the class is should be like this. Syntax for the class. Normally, how will you write the like public class is the keyword, and you can take the class name demo, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class. 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 Are you guys clear with these points? Basically, class it is a model or template or plan. It is a blueprint of objects, which is a class declares with a combination of variables and methods, and class cannot exist. Class cannot exist physically. Class is the keyword which is used to create the class. Class is the keyword which is used to create the class. For example, if you can observe here, this is the syntax for the class. This is the syntax for the class. Whatever the imagination we are thinking, so all the imagination you can write inside the class. Write inside the class. Okay. Next, are you guys clear with these points? Next, we'll try to understand about the objects. We'll try to understand the object. So first one is real-time. All real-time entities is called objects. And all real-time entities is called objects. And second one, so second one is objects can exist in physically. Object can exist in physically. Objects can exist in physically. For creating objects, classes are mandatory. So that is the third point. I would say for creating objects, classes are mandatory. Classes are classes are mandatory. Are you guys clear with these points? For creating the objects, classes are mandatory. And creating object meaning JVM allocating the memory for the objects. Creating objects means JVM allocating the memory. JVM allocating the memory for the objects. JVM allocating the memory. JVM allocating the memory for the objects. JVM creating an object means JVM allocating the memory for the objects. Are you guys clear with these points? Object meaning all real-time entities is called objects. Objects can exist physically, and for creating objects, classes are mandatory. So without classes, we cannot create the without classes we cannot create objects. So for creating objects, classes are mandatory. Without classes we cannot create the objects. Creating object means JVM allocating the memory. For the objects. So okay, so creating object meaning JVM allocating the memory for the objects. JVM will allocating the memory for the objects. So the main purpose of object meaning, we can reuse our code. For example, I will take one paint, and through that I will explain. So I will open MS Paint. You guys clear with these points? Object means JVM allocating the memory for the objects. So like how will you create the objects? So with the help of new keyword, we can create the objects. So new is the keyword which is used to create the object, which is used to create the objects, So what the process is internally happens is, it should be like this. For example, so whenever you mention, for example, if you take the class like this, I'm taking the class should be like this: public class demo. From here to here, this is the scope of I want to create the object for this class. How can I create? So with the help of new keyword, we can create the object, new and demo. Whenever I mention the new, so we have successfully created the object. This is the object creation. This one is the, we have done the object creation. Now what I am doing, this object I am storing in one variable, that is the anything. If I mention like a reference name, This is the variable name. For example, here in this case I am mentioning S. What does it mean by S? This is the reference variable name. Reference variable name. And this we need mention the data type of this reference variable name. That is, I am mentioning demo. Demo is the data type. Demo is the data type, and this one is the reference variable, and this is the object creation. You guys clear with this point? So new is the keyword which is used to create the objects. And second point you can remember, for one class we can create n number of objects. We can create number of objects, meaning, for example, this is the S1. I am storing in S1. This is the class, and this is the only one class. I have created object for this class. In the same way, what I am saying, my point is, for one class we can create number of objects. The same way, what I am doing, the same way I would like to create one more object also. Same, I am mentioning demo, and I am storing S2, and demo is the class name. This is the reference variable name. This is the object. This object I am storing in this reference variable. This reference data type is the demo. My point is, for one class we can create number of objects. So what will happen internally is, so already you guys know about JVM architecture. In the JVM architecture, whenever you create the object, all the objects will be stored in the heap memory. We can say heap area. So all the objects will be stored in the heap memory. So I will write the same point here. Object will be stored in the heap area. Objects will be stored in the heap area. So you guys already know architecture. For example, if I take the JVM heap memory like this, whenever I mention the same scenario, the class, when I am creating the object, so the internally the process should be like this. This class is containing, it will refers, this is the S1. This is the S1, and this is the object. This object is having methods, variables, all the things it is holding. Okay, this entire thing is the heap area. In the heap area, whenever you create the object, that objects will be stored in the heap memory. This is the object. So for one class demo is the class. For this class we are creating n number of objects. Like if you create multiple objects, all the objects will be stored in the heap area. This is the S3, and you can create, for one class you can create n number of objects. Are you guys clear with these points? So we need to remember one more point also. So whenever you create the objects, the JVM will generate one hash code. JVM will provide one hash code, that is the address of the object, and every object has unique of the hash code. Are you guys clear with the point? Whenever you create the object, the JVM will provide one hash code. For one hash code, that is the address of the object. address of the object. So for every object has unique address. Unique address, you can say hash code. For example, the hash code, it might be having like this 97 dollar, I would say 97GH22 like this, and this object might be having 8852G K like this. So every object having different hash code. Who will create a hash code? JVM will provide the hash code for the objects. Hash code for the objects. Hash code for the objects. And one more point also, that one is, for example, this is the class demo. This is the demo class. You can assume for this demo class, if I created the 10 objects, so among those 10 objects, I am using only 2 objects only. Then what about the remaining 8 objects? Remaining 8 objects I am not using. So because should I delete the remaining 8 objects? Who will delete? JVM has one assistant. JVM has one assistant person. That assistant person is garbage collector. So garbage collector is the assistant for the JVM. The main purpose of garbage collector is it will remove whatever the objects we are not using. It will automatically remove the unused objects in the memory. So that is the main advantage in the Java. Basically, like the memory management, it will be automatically it will take care. Like whatever it will identify what are the methods we are not using, what are the methods we are using. Based on that, whatever the objects we are not using. So garbage collector is the assistant for the JVM. It will do? It will remove unused objects. So like that, we are managing our memory, Java memory. Are you guys clear with this point? So garbage collector which will remove unused objects. Are you guys clear with this point? So garbage collector, it is the assistant for the JVM. The main purpose of garbage collector, which will remove unused objects. Okay, you guys clear with these points? But the removing and adding, so the garbage collector is not under developer's control. So the JVM, they will internally take care. Okay, they internally take care. So the garbage collector is not in our control. That the process will be happens internally. The process will be happens internally. Are you guys clear with these points? So right now you try to understand. So if you create the one class, we can create multiple objects. For the same class. So you guys, can you please read these all the points, the objects? Clear? So here in the interview perspective, they will ask, what does it mean by program? Program is nothing but collection of classes only. Program is collection of classes only. Program means collection of classes only. Collection of classes only. Are you guys clear with these points? Class, it is the model or template or plan. It is the blueprint of object. Class declaration with combination of variables and methods. Class cannot exist physically. Class is the keyword which is used to create the class. Program means collection of classes only, and this is the syntax for the class. This is the syntax for the class. And in case of object, so all real-time entities, for example, anything, if you get anything, chair is also an object, that bottle is also an object, every whatever the existing things in the earth, so all the things you can say objects. All the things you can say objects. And for creating objects, classes are mandatory. For without class, we cannot create the objects. And creating object means the JVM allocating memory for the objects. And new is the keyword which is used to create the object. One class we can create number of objects. One class we can create number of objects. So object will be stored in the heap memory, heap area. So a garbage collector which will remove the unused objects, So these are the points you should remember in case of class and objects. Class and object. Are you guys clear with these points? Any confusion, anyone? So OOPS basically, the programming language is divided into two types. One is the procedure oriented POP language. We can say procedure oriented language, and the second one is the object oriented language. Programming language is divided into two types. One is the POP language. What are the examples for the POP language? These are the legacy languages like C++, COBOL, Pascal are the examples for the POP language. And object oriented language like Java, Python, these are comes under the OOP language. In procedure oriented language, like the programs you can develop in the form of functions and procedures. If you have to write the more functionalities, we need to use the more functions. If our project have the more functions, the maintenance and managing the functions is too risk. In POP language, code can be globally exposed. There is no security. Okay, in POP language there is no security. And in case of OOP language, we have to write the programs with the classes and object. Which language follows the OOPS principles? That language is called OOP language. And in OOP language, it will provide security. Okay, what are the OOPS principles we have? OOPS principles are 4. One is the encapsulation, second one is the abstraction, third one is the polymorphism, fourth one is the inheritance. What does it mean by encapsulation? It is the process of combining variables and methods as a single unit is called encapsulation. Is there any example for the encapsulation? All the Java class, whatever the programs we are writing all the variables and methods inside the class only. That's why all the Java classes we can say examples for the encapsulation. And we can achieve the encapsulation using the classes. And what does it mean by abstraction? Which is used to hiding the unnecessary data and providing the useful information. We can achieve the abstraction using abstract classes and interfaces. So like in depth we will see what does it mean by abstract classes and what does it mean by interfaces at the time of abstraction. Okay, what are the examples for the abstraction? Car, ATM, laptop, these are the examples for the abstraction. So in depth we will discuss at the time of encapsulation. Okay, today we are introducing, I am only trailer today. Okay, next polymorphism. Polymorphism meaning objects can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situations is called polymorphism. Meaning like one person can perform in a day multiple behaviors. In the he will be staying in the morning time with family, he will be act as a family member. So after that 10 to 5 or 6 he will be in the office. he will be act as a employee in the office. So after 7 o'clock he might be like some tuitions. At the time he might be act as a some tutor. Based on the situation, the same person will be acting different behaviors. So the same process I will write in the programmatically. We have the polymorphism concept. Using that concept you can write the same process. Objects can exhibit, object meaning any real-time entity. Objects can exhibit multiple behaviors based on the situations is called polymorphism. Polymorphism. And I would say in the inheritance, it is the process of extending the properties and properties from one class to another class. What is the main advantage for the inheritance? Code reusability. This is the very big advantage in the Java. You can write code reusability, meaning, for example, I will show you the some example here. One person, the developers will be available in different locations. Like so, I will show you how code reusability meaning. So this developer will be staying in some other locations. You can assume like that. This is the one developer. This person is the one developer, and he is working login functionality. He is working login functionality, and he write the code about the login functionality. Are you guys clear with this point? This is the code. You can assume like this. And we have one more developer. This developer is working on registration functionality. A registration functionality. Registration functionality. And this is the code for a registration functionality. So this person is working on the login functionality and he did write the program. This person is working on the registration functionality and he did the program. The same program, the same code, if I want to use other, like this is in some you can say some one page, this registration functionality in one page, that is the version page. You can assume this is the one page. This functionality is you are using in one page. The same functionality if I use in other page also, like some other page like h1 page, h1.html, the same functionality if I want in other page also, you can reuse. That is the main advantage. So whatever the developer write the code at one time, you can reuse the same code in multiple places. Are you guys clear with these points? This one clear? Meaning the code you can write only one time, you can reuse multiple times. That is the big advantage in the inheritance. Next, class. Class meaning it is the model or template or plan. It is the blueprint of the objects. Class is a declaration with a combination of variables and methods. Class cannot exist physically. The class is the just imagination only, and class is the keyword which is used to create the class. And program means collection of classes only. Is there any syntax? Yes, we have the syntax. And object meaning all the simple guys, you can assume. Like if you want to construct the one building, so we need to plan, like I want 3 floors, I want 4 floors. That planning we can write inside the class, and whenever you clear the object meaning physical entity, you can assume like the building plan, enter the building plan, you can write inside the class. The building construction will be in the objects. Behavior objects. Okay, all the real-time entities, whatever the things we are observing, we are seeing, anything you can say are real-time entities. For example, that is the bottle. That bottle, how can I write the programmatically? You can assume this bottle is This bottle is physical entity. Are you guys clear with this point? This bottle is physical entity. This bottle height is, this bottle color is pink. This bottle height is some, you can assume 10 centimeter like. So this bottle is the real time entity. How can I convert this programmatically? How can I write this bottle things in the programmatically? So first class is the keyword and name is bottle. Name is bottle. Are you guys clear with these points? So bottle is the real time entity. I am converting the real time entity as a programmatically. So first one, I need to mention, I would say color. Color is the string. String, I would say color equal to pink. This is the string, so that's why I am mentioning double quotations. Pink, pink, and height. String height, we can say int height. Int height is equal to, we can say 10, 10, you can say 10 cm or like that. So what I am saying here, every any real time entity we can convert, we can write the programs, we can write the programs. So we can convert, we can write the programs with the help of class keyword, we can write the programs. So all the things you can convert as a class and you can write the programs, you can write the programs. So this is the bottle. So whatever the bottle height, the bottle color, so whatever we are seeing, whatever we are looking, all the things you can say properties of the bottle. So the bottle is doing functions is called methods. I will show you that one also here. This is the bottle, you can say this is the bottle, this is the bottle. This bottle color is red color. I will fill with red color. Now you guys clear. So the bottle color, whatever you are seeing, whatever right, like we are looking, the bottle color and the bottle height, the bottle height, the bottle width, color is red, and height is 10 centimeter, and width is 2 centimeters. Clear? These all, whatever you are looking, so these all comes under the properties. So how will you mention the properties in Java? You can mention with the variables, you can mention with the variables. In the variables topic we will discuss about the types of variables. And okay, so this bottle, what the bottle is doing, the bottle normally storing the water is the one function, and that is the one method, storing the water, and uh, and dispensing the water, dispensing the water. These are the methods, meaning whatever the work is done by the bottle, those we can say, those we can say uh, methods. Methods. Are you guys clear with these points? In the same way, here also, new is the keyword which is used to create the objects, and one class we can create n number of objects. Objects will be stored in the heap area. Garbage collector is the assistant for the JVM, which will remove the unused objects. Which will remove the unused objects. So no need to remove the objects. JVM will be internally have one assistant, that is the garbage collector. It will remove automatically unused objects. It will remove automatically unused objects. Are you guys clear with this point? So based on the class and objects, I will give assignment is should be like this. The previous programs only. can you please observe this assignment? Uh, Create a class employee. You can declare three attributes. First attribute is the ID, second attribute is the name, and third attribute is the salary. Create class as another class as a solution, and under the main method we can create three objects of a employee, and you can reinitialize to their respective values and display the contents. So I will give the assignment like this. Okay, whatever the programs we did till now, the same process. Okay, we need to create the employee, and inside the employee we need to create the three attributes. One is the id you can take int, name is you can take string, salary you can take double, and you can create one more class, that is the solution class. And under the solution class you can take a main method. Under the main method you can create objects for this employee. You can create this employee. Reinitializing meaning, okay, we are creating new objects and we are reinitializing with new values. Okay, so this one I will share the assignments. So with this I will share another assignments based on the class and objects. Whatever the programs we did till now, all the programs you can write with object. Okay, so I will share this one in the group. So please go through it and do the assignments and